Streaming has started. Make sure we're on everything we need to be on. Not yet. We're doing a pre-show. Let's wait for it. Let's let everyone get in here. We are live on YouTube, I think. I think we're live on YouTube. Okay, we're live on YouTube. Ooh, that's a good shot of me on YouTube. I love those like mid-angle shots. Check that Twitch still. Twitch has been unresponsive today. That was kind of weird. I've had a bunch of errors with Twitch today. We're gonna pause. Okay, cool. So that's good. That's coming through nice and clear. All right. So we're gonna give everybody a some time to get in here. We've got a very special episode tonight. I'm gonna run this solo. I think this is gonna be the first one that I treat like a fireside chat. I would really. I'm just take this off. This looks silly. I'm gonna talk about some stuff. I think given the current situation with a lot of streamers and Twitch, I think we should have a really candid talk about a lot of things surrounding the modern world and what's happening. And you know how that pertains to us as individuals, how that pertains to what we're going through. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give everybody I'm gonna give a little time for everything to get set up. You know, if people got that notification. For the most part, I'm probably just gonna assume, since we're not doing our normal time, no one's gonna be on this stream. At the end of the day, this is just something that I want to be able to talk about. I don't think we do a whole lot of vlog type journal things. Morgan, I don't think that that thing meant to look the way you typed it. So let me go look on Twitch. Nope, it still looks like gibberish. Yeah, I agree. Question mark D and LT, right? Oh, robot happy face, purple heart. Okay, cool. So you were probably using your Android emojis there, and it didn't translate to. Okay, robot happy face. Thanks for being here, Morgan. I appreciate you. So yeah, this is basically just gonna be me getting a bunch of shit off my chest that I think I should at least, you know, put out there, into the ether. You know, in case aliens start feeling alone in the universe or whatever in the future. I want to send these signals out, you know. Oh, I also messed one thing up. I think I'm streaming to the music category on here. Not a very good category to stream to on. Fuck it, I don't care. You know, I really don't think anyone's gonna see this. So let's go ahead and I mean, we can give it a second. I think we've been streaming for about 3 minutes now. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. Like I said, I don't see a whole lot of gold rush to come in here. No illusions about what's going on, but I think it's important we talk. I think it's important that I monologue, and this is out here so that if anyone is just, you know, having, you know, a manic night going through YouTube or something, trying to find something, maybe out of the ether, this will be put in front of the person it needs to be put in front of at the time they need it. You know, sending signals and all that shit. So yeah, I feel like the world is a hectic place now, and I just really don't like the whole tone that's being addressed with this overtly hopeful tone that's being put out there with all these COVID, you know, you're not alone commercials, because it's very disingenuous. And I know when I'm dealing with shit, I would rather have somebody cut it to me in a way that doesn't feel like they're patronizing me. And you know, we're gonna talk about a lot of heavy concepts. This may get pretty spacey. This may get pretty heady. But I definitely think this needs to be done. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut to Kyle Nosher because he's kind of my crutch once we get started. Give me a second to kind of collect my head. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We'll go a little longer for the pregame. I really think that I fucked up here though on my stream shit. One sec. Yeah, we're streaming to mute. Let me change that. Can I do that? I wonder if I can. If I can do that during stream, that's cool. Oh shit, I can. Okay, so if I go over here to this bit, I'm going for 5 minutes 33 seconds and click on it. Does it categorize me as music? Because I accidentally did music. I'm trying to make sure. Yeah, cool. Neat. Neat. I guess that doesn't fuck everything up. Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Cool. That's neat. So yeah, God, that tastes like rubber when it's from a can. Only drink Miller High Life from a bottle, guys. Only do that. Don't even drink water, just drink Miller High Life from a bottle. So without further ado, here is Kyle Nosher. Please lead us into this great evening of content.
Once a human can self-regulate, they will be free to explore their true cognitive abilities. Hi there, I'm Kyle Nosher. Have you ever tried DMT? Well, I have, and I'm here to tell you that there is nothing but darkness when you die. I've been swallowed by the abyss, and I saw ghostly faces curiously peering at me through the waves of reality as if they were examining a small tadpole below a river's surface. They did not smile, but they were overjoyed to have been seen. I reached out. It was warm, like my mother. There was immediately this smell that was intimately familiar, though I couldn't really quite place it. I became intoxicated by the aroma. All at once, the sensation of peace and isolation enveloped me. Softly, the faces said, "You are too far. We are too close." I then awoke and began this introduction for Ito Clash. Here's Ito Clash.
All right, Kyle Nosher. Woo! Trippy realities, DMT, drugs are fun. All right. So here's the thing. There's been a lot of stories, a lot of very influential streamers, stuff like that, actors. I think PewDiePie did a video on, suicide is a topic that a lot of people are talking about. Feeling alone is something that a lot of people are confronting that they didn't think they had to confront. And in this day and age where it's easier to feel isolated. I don't feel comfortable discussing a lot of this stuff a lot of the time because that's a struggle that everyone deals with. First off, everybody deals with this. But it's also a struggle where it's very easy for people to do the whole bit of, I came back from this. I handled this. I managed it. And I feel like with the recent tragedies that have happened in the community, and I don't like listing names. I'm not going to do that with respect to them. I don't want their memory to be something tied to this being the ending because there's so much more to life than how it ends. I think that it's something that the media and the people approaching the topic are very disingenuous and shallow about. And like I said, this isn't something I expect to be seen. This isn't something I'm going to monetize. The video's going to monetize if I don't get flagged for copyright. Sorry, I'm fucking broke. But I'm not going to push it as something like, woo. I think this is just something I need to put out there. At the end of the day, I'm just lazy with settings, and I'm not going to go through the effort. Sorry. But being very candid without talking about my own experiences very much, just background. We've talked about it before on the show. I deal with bipolar 1. I'm very prone to manic episodes. A lot of times where you thought that I was at my funniest on this show, if you've ever watched it, it's usually a manic episode. But with that, I've learned a lot of things of how to cope. And cope is a super huge word in this one because it doesn't go away. These are things that are very constant thoughts. You know, I'm always going to be prone to the insecurities of it. One of my biggest problems is self-loathing, and I self-sabotage in a way to where that feeling of you don't like yourself, you don't like who you are, you just want to be someone else, you just want to avoid it, you just want to run from it. And so let me get rid of the glasses because this feels like way more of an actual episode for me. I don't think that it is very... I'm going to look at the camera. That's where I'm going to look. I don't think that it's very wholeheartedly concerned. It's kind of like saying thoughts and prayers to something when something happens, when you say, you know, if you have a problem, reach out to someone. If you're going through something, reach out to someone. That's very disingenuous, because if you're struggling, if you're really struggling, if you're in that pit, that's kind of just like a fix-all solution to say, oh, you know, when you're in that point, you're not gonna tell people where you're at. You're gonna reach out vaguely. You're gonna tell them, look, I need someone, whatever. But people can't always be there. Realistically, people won't always be there. They won't. And my biggest problem here is that I would rather... There's a reason I didn't title this episode "Mental Health," or this is a rabbit hole. It's going to be a long one. If it resonates with you, I highly recommend you hang around. But I am so tired of people saying, "Oh, you just reach out if you need help." You know, you don't know you need help till you need help. And I can't speak for everyone. I can't speak for anything, but I think that it's fair that I share perspective on it, and not like a high roady perspective, because we're all dealing with it, we're all handling it. The biggest issue is a lot of this overtly positive way of handling it. It kind of masks the fact that we're all dealing with it. It kind of diverts away from this, and it's so easy to get caught up in your own world of saying, well, it's not like theirs. It's not like what they're dealing with. It's not, because of the projection of it. So I think it's important that I talk for a second about the realities of depression, the realities of this stuff. And then from there, we're going to get into a few thoughts that no one ever really associates with depression, and no one ever really associates with the world today. And I'm not going to harp on this on the show. I'm not going to get into a bunch. This is going to be probably my word on it, and it's going to be archived so that you got something to go back to. But when you are at that point, a lot of it is fueled by the perspectives of yourself. It's viewed by how you view your life as it is right now. And no one can tell you how hard your life is. A lot of people are like, well, I'm privileged. If you stop assessing it in that way, if you don't feel okay, you don't feel okay. There's no perspective on it. There's no anything that can tell you otherwise. If you're not all right, you're not all right. And I think it's very important that at the very least that we cultivate some way for us to address it and acknowledge it. And I think I've done... you know, on the show, I work very hard to project an image of somebody who is handling stuff and managing. But at the end of the day, it's a struggle every day. It's not going to go away. One day it'll just automatically get better when life's in a different situation. Most people, it's fluid. Life is fluid. Life, if you, general depression, clinical depression, all these things, they really are impacted by environmental things. And I know people always say that shit of, it's temporary. I'm trying to avoid these cliches. I'm trying to be very frank. Everything you feel, no matter how real it feels, is a product of chemicals in your brain causing causing a reflexive reaction, causing an emotion, causing that. And one of the things that I found that's really you just have to hold on to like it's a mantra, is that it's imaginary. That even though it's in your head, I mean, just the very fact that it's not tangible, you have to pull yourself out of that. And yeah, I know it's easier said than done. That's why I'm not gonna say just get better. Just go watch an Onision video for that. But if you feed into it, you will dig that hole. You will dig it deeper. You will, and in the opposite direction of it, in the contrary, you will dig that hole deeper trying to pretend that you're fine and you're composed, because none of us are. We're all human. We're all conflicted inherently. That's just what we are. So to say, oh, just get better, just handle it, just move on, just focus on the good, just sometimes no matter how much good you focus on, it's not going to pull you out of it. And so I really believe that it's imperative that giving people the tools to shift their perspective, giving people the ability to look at something beyond where they're at that time. When you get in tunnel vision, it's really hard to get stuck in it. Or it's really easy to get stuck in it, really hard to pull yourself out. And in those times, it's easy to feel like your mind is your enemy. And that's the beauty of the intangibility of it. It's very malleable. You can shape it. You can change your perspective. But it doesn't happen instantaneously. Process of molding, of executing practices every day that eventually just become habits. And when they become habits, you're able to you're able to look back at where you were at a certain point and say, oh my God, like I'm a totally different person now. That's what true change is. That is practicing. I'm going to be candid. When I was first hospitalized with depression when I was fucking 17 years old. And the hardest part of it is it's very hard to look and see how your relationships with others are shaped and molded by that. And it's very hard, you get to a point where people get exhausted. They're not part of your life anymore. And that just drives you further in that hole. And it's very important that you keep that close. You keep that. You understand that not everybody can be there with you on this journey. Life is a singular journey. And I'm not saying you're alone. I'm saying the most important entity to yourself is you. It has to be. And, I've had a bunch of conversations this evening that if my biggest thing to confront, and this is my main thing, is self-loathing. I don't like who I am. I'm not happy I'll never be happy with who I am, but I need to learn to make peace with that. And I'm trying right now to be honest in this moment so that I've been thinking about it for a while, actually, is I feel like people don't take the time to confront themselves or approach themselves. Not confront because it sounds aggressive, but they don't take the time to say, what was I doing here? What impacted that? What was the causality of this? So when you're looking at that, it's it's easy to start separating yourself. It's easy when people don't understand to be like, you don't understand, you cut them off. I've done that. You have no idea how many people I've blocked on the internet when I'm dealing with shit. Like, I've just straight up fucking blocked them. People in my lives that were huge parts of my life, just cut them off because I don't want to deal with it. And over time, it's a snowball effect. And I'm not saying this experience is the same for everyone. I'm speaking from what I know because that's all I'm ever going to speak from. I don't know every situation. I'm hoping that this is something that can resonate with people. I'm hoping that this is something that, like I said, someday someone's going to come across this when they need it. That's really why I'm putting this out here. But it's very easy to think that you're in one place and then the next day something happens. And, it's one of those things, AA has had to deal with it. AA addresses it. Like, it's okay to fall off the wagon sometimes. It's okay to go back on where you thought you were at times. The trick is to learn from it, to acknowledge it and say, I'm not perfect. Everybody has to have that room for growth. And so I think it's imperative that we as a society stop approaching this as this talk to somebody if you're lost, because it, and don't get me wrong, if you need help and you're willing to talk to somebody by all fucking means. Do that immediately. But there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable talking with somebody. And a lot of times when you do talk to someone, no one's going to understand. No one's going to, and I encourage a lot of people, if you're going through shit, you can message me on Twitter. Like, you can hit me up if you really feel you need someone to talk to that understands. At Ito is wrong. I'm not going to give you life advice. I'm like a fucking therapist, but I want to give you perspective. I can help with perspective. I'm good at understanding. I'm a great listener. My dog says I am. That's my thing though, is we need to get to this point where the stigma of you are incapable goes away. And when you're in crisis, yeah, it's very easy to feel not fit for something. It's very easy to feel an inability to handle something. But it's very important. Very important. First off, everyone says it's temporary. If you're Googling help stuff with depression, first thing everyone's going to say is it's temporary. When you talk about people that are at the point of suicide is a very permanent solution to a temporary problem. And that is true. But a lot of times it's not helpful. I don't have an answer for that stuff. A lot of people want to give this solution to it. All I can say is you get to a point where you can feel okay not always being as happy as everyone appears, because everyone's not actually as happy as they look when you're depressed. Not everyone's not as happy as you think they are when you're at that point. And the reason I'm going to this is because I think more and more, the more prevalence we see in society, I think there's a grave problem starting here. I think we're seeing a disconnect between people that suffer from this issue and the overall stigma with it. We treat it like it's this thing that when you get it, you got it, you're toxic. Not toxic like bad, but like you've got it. Treat them like they're sick with this. If you need help with it, get a doctor. If you need help, reach out. Now, yes, absolutely, but that's unrealistic in a lot of cases. And so then you end up with these cases where someone out of the blue does that. Everyone's like, I didn't think that would happen. I didn't know that happened. And you can never really predict anything like that, ever. You can never really know where someone's at. And we live in a world now that lacks empathy. And I think that lack of empathy has helped shape the attitude. Where it's very easy to feel bad when something happens to somebody, but I see a lot of people coming out talking about how bad they feel about people committing suicide, that they contributed to a lot of the issues going into. And I would much rather see everybody taking the time to be more understanding, period. Not even a mental illness, not even of depression, period. People are really fast to make a response video. Really fast to make an attack video, really fast to do. And it feeds into this horrible, horrible concept that I feel has been shown on. First off, a lot of people think that their hot take on somebody is important enough to share with their followers. I think that there's a lot of people that feel that them hating somebody is worthy enough of a video. You should really take a second, and there's a lot of people that deserve criticism. There's a lot of people that deserve criticism, and those people that deserve criticism that approve they're strong enough to take it, that's fine. But the inability of empathy is incredibly obvious now. We're at a time, and I'm gonna go boomer for a second. We're at a time now where you see. This is something that I didn't deal with when I was in high school. I was class of 2013, so I'm 25 years old. I don't know how old that makes me on the scale. I don't really care. But I've seen it go from the beginning of Facebook, the beginning of this stuff, all the way up to now where we're at. Everybody's lying, dude. everyone on these pages are lying. You've got people like your main influencers are all fucking flexing and I'm not calling names out because I don't give a shit, but like, you have so many people that are flexing. Look what I got. Look what I got. Look what I got. The entire music community now is built on fucking showing off what you have. A doesn't mean shit. We're all eaten by worms when we die. Fact. But also you have all of these people that are assigning this value to these things, cars, women. I think Rice Gum's my favorite example. Go watch a Rice Gum video that's before he was just a cringy asshole in his mom's closet. You see exactly what the problem is. There's no tangible value, and a lot of people consume it. Everyone consumes it. We all consume it. I watch stuff. I've gotten where I can't watch new shows that people are like, oh, it's amazing. It's because it feels insincere. Everything now feels targeted towards us. Everything feels specifically targeted to hit those things that give us an optimal check for what would sell a commercial, or like they hit all the trendy spots and they hit all this stuff that in reality it doesn't help validate you. It doesn't help make you feel better. And I'm not speaking on a high horse. If you fucking love Maseratis or Bugattis, go get them. Good luck. Get everything you can. Take as much as you can. If you will feel better, if that makes you feel better to get these houses and women on you, that's fine. But I will tell you a fact. Most of the girls that you pay to dance on you in those music videos are not going to stick around if you don't have the money. Most of them. You'll find special ones. But it's the reality that people are chasing. And this facade of, no one's going to post a fucking video when they're sad. And when someone does actually post one, it's kind of alarming. And so they get taken down, stuff like that. But it's very specifically curated to influence you into thinking this website's great. But inadvertently, it's telling you that everyone's better off than you. Everyone's doing better than you. Everyone's doing this. Everyone's doing that. And so that's how you end up in this situation where people are like, oh man, we didn't see that coming, that they were depressed. Why didn't they tell anybody? There's this pressure. There's an inherent pressure on you to flex when you do that, when you're in that community. And I don't participate in that. I don't want to participate in it. It's not fun to me. But I think that, I'm going to drop one name. Alinity is one of my favorites because she is one of the most toxic people I've seen, just listening to her talk. And this is a judgment call. I am no one to speak on character. But there's a detachment there from like what you're saying and the community you represent. And then they feel the need. So any YouTuber that tells you it's their fucking responsibility when they have a platform to, oh, I need to raise awareness about this. That's them trying to put importance on something. At the end of the day, we're people who put stuff on video, and they're people who put stuff on video. I don't have subscribers. I don't have anything. But if anyone tries to tell you that it's irrelevant, that you're irrelevant, we're all irrelevant, first off. We're on a fucking piece of dust flying through space. One day we can just fucking slam into a sun and it doesn't even matter anyways. That's not something to be sad about. That's something to feel, better about. We're all monkeys. None of us are inherently better than another. We assign monetary value to things, and as I just said, monetary value assigned to things that doesn't really necessarily equate to you being okay. Our brains are these vacuous, amazing, intangible objects that are just, our minds are so unique. We're doing book club at some point, and we're gonna talk about The Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley, and he gets into that where with your mind, the only thing that limits it is your human body. There's no telling how infinite your mind actually is. So I think that it's a very shallow thing to say that, oh, I equate money, women, and cars to this being this. With that said, they're great side effects of succeeding. And I'm not someone who's going to shit all over that. When I get money, I'm going to buy cars, and I don't need bitches. Just kidding. Women are to be respected, but when they're in a rap video, media. So, wait, did my stuff freeze? Damn. Weird. So, yeah. Let that load up for a second. That's intense. That's really intense. Give me a second. My shit fucked up. Cool. The encoding messed up. So I think it's very important that we cut through that shit real quick. Because at the end of the day, oh shit. Let me fix this. Just all over the place tonight, huh? No one's watching. We're good. No one's watching. So leading into that, I wanna talk about reality and what the real world is. When people say reality, like snap back to reality, you need to live in reality. You're not living in reality. If anyone's ever been in a situation where they were being looked into for schizophrenia, like that, that reality comes up a lot in conversation. And I think it's very important that we address the ambiguity of the concept. I read an article today that was let me see if I can pull this up to make sure I don't get it wrong. Oh, I didn't do that right. Anywho, I read an article today. It was by on SciTech.com. It was about them how to use researchers have shown how to use AI to falsely make people think they've had contact with a interspiritual being, next level being, whatever you want to consider it. We actually talked about this on the show about 30 or 40 episodes ago. And when we talked about it, I said at the time, it's important for us to know our realities, know your reality from another reality, know what someone's. And I've had 2 or 3 people message me on Twitter about it, and I feel like I should probably address that, because it ties into this. Even though it's in the real world, even though you are physically watching it being put out by XYZ network or on YouTube or whatever, it's okay to inherently mistrust things. Don't turn into one of those like media's lying, everyone's lying, but it is all curated. And when someone curates something, what it means when someone curates something, it's like an art collection. Things have been posed in such a way to convey an idea, to convey an overarching message. And the fact of the matter is the reality we live in, and when I say the reality we live in, here on planet Earth in XYZ country you live in, that is the reality. Now there's other realities like the solar system, the reality of the universe that, we don't matter. But here on Earth, in this reality, day to day, going to places, paying for your fucking, rent, all that stuff, that's a totally different reality. You can't spend all your time saying, well, we could get hit by an asteroid, we're all dead. You have to understand that there are different levels. Kind of the same way with your mind. There's id, ego, and superego. Your id pertains to, I gotta eat shit, handle my stuff, probably hump something. And then you have your ego, which is like, am I okay with humping stuff? I mean, I get kind of bored humping stuff, but and then you have your superego, which is how you impact the world around you, the people that interact with you, your interpersonal relationships, stuff like that. And I think that it's very important to make this different because we're entering an age where virtual reality and what I consider tangible reality, which is like right now, tangible, are gonna start coalescing. And this is something someone can debate with me. I strongly consider realities where your Facebook timeline is not a tangible reality. You may see things that happened in the real world, but because it was curated, was it tangible? And to elaborate on that, and I'm just coming up at the top of my head, sorry if it fucking sucks. But like, say you're to walk through an exhibit of Vincent van Gogh's work. Everybody knows the pain that man went through. Everybody knows, if you go through an exhibit to show the beautiful tortured mind of Vincent van Gogh. You'll come out the other end asking yourself, like, or talking to yourself like, wow, what a beautiful person, what a beautiful mind. That's still not a tangible reality. It's removed from you. And what I mean by that is he was this beautiful tortured man, not debating that. But if you were to ask someone at that time in the town that knew him, they're usually going to say he's an asshole drunk. And to them, that was their reality. That's day-to-day life. That's day-to-day perspective. And it's amazing how the framing of something can change that. Pretty much, I think that it's basically like if you take an exaggerated history, like Inglourious Bastards by the Quentin Tarantino movie, it's just enough truth to where it's set in something that you can relate to, but it's not a reality. Even if it was a World War II movie, you wouldn't really be able to relate to it, so it's a bad metaphor. But what I'm saying is if a reality is curated, don't consider that a reality. It's messing with your head. It's messing with your perspective. Inherently, it's convincing you of something. And we have so many ads that are trying to do, we care about you. Stay safe. Take care of your mental health. Us happy in the house. We're locked inside during quarantine, but everything's all right because we're all together. Or like those beautiful piano ones in black and white, and put that fucking filter on it. I'm not thinking of a specific one. I've seen like a million. If you really need something to get mad at, just think about the Imagine music video. It's very easy to smile and do this shit when you're trying to convey something. The problem everyone has with the Imagine video is at the end of the day, it's a bunch of performers. It's a bunch of performers performing something. So I think there's a disconnect where we're told that this is all genuine. You see something on the news and somebody, goes ham on a script that they have written beforehand about a topic that they've already researched and done on it. It's very persuasive. And the more and more we get to the point where people start really dialing in how much or what makes people elicit these responses to where we can get these viewers at this time if we say this. I play that game. That's a game I play on the show. I'm not very good at it. But that is something where they're curating it. And when that's happening, you're going to have a harder time discerning reality. And the reason I'm getting to that is we're seeing more and more people as a population having these problems. And a common one that comes up is, I just don't feel happy as everyone else. There's, I don't feel happy. And then there's, I don't feel happy as like everybody else. And that juxtaposition is very important because there's a lot of people that it's consistently, I'm not doing something right compared to them. And it turns into inadequacies. It turns into self-loathing. It turns into problems like that. And that's not all the problems. You have people getting harassed because you have, say a Twitch streamer that has XYZ. Twitch streamers don't make a lot of money. Pro tip, the only ones that make a lot of money are like Ninja and Dr. Disrespect, who can sign deals. But you're literally just making a livable wage if you're like top of the top. You're still got to pay a rent. Most of them have tiny ass apartments. They're not doing amazingly. Most celebrities, once you get rich and famous, you're fucking given everything for free. So it's very easy for people to just go ham on them in the chat. And I think that's something that's not conducive, because it's been brought to my attention a few times that the persona that I take on this show is very confident and very put together. And when I say stuff like that, they're like, you don't actually deal with that. You don't. And I wanted to do a candid chat where I basically said everyone has stuff. Everyone has problems. Everyone's got shit. But I think it's very important we discern what a problem is. And Kanye's a great example. Kanye had a fucking manic episode and went on stage, said everyone with a kid needs $1 million, and Harriet Tubman was racist. What the fuck? And it's very important we understand the nuances of what's going through people's heads with that. He was on a manic episode. Anyone who's ever dealt with that can tell you. But if you're not aware, you are filled with so much energy and self-confidence in those brief little spurts that you think what you're doing is right. And then you'll come back from it and you'll be like, oh, fuck. And that's my biggest thing is there's such a lack of empathy. And it's not us as a society that's the problem. It's on the internet, online. We're rewarded for that, dude. Like, if I have a hot take on somebody and I tear someone a new asshole on fucking Instagram, I can get a lot of fucking followers on Twitter or something, you know, or not Instagram, but Twitter. I can get a lot of followers on Twitter for having a hot fucking take and just ripping them apart, just saying some horrible shit. You can stock up on it. It's very easy. Very easy. That's why you'll see so many YouTubers doing commentary videos on other YouTubers. 9 times out of the 10, the YouTubers they're attacking are above them. They're punching up. It's a rule in entertainment. Only attack those above you. But what they're doing is they're doing these hot takes on people to get their follows up. They're putting in the name. iDubbbz is great because he plays with it. Like when he did the Jake Paul content cop and it was about rice gum. Fucking loved it. That's a thing is I think a lot of the audience, everyday users, don't quite understand the ways that the algorithms play in the favor of this stuff. And as someone who's worked on this stuff, it's almost like the algorithms are promoting negative activity because they're triggering innate things in our human psyche, and they're triggering innate responses in who we are. They're triggering things that are subconscious, like, oh, fuck, I hate that guy too. I'm glad my guy fucking shit talked him. Yeah, dude, let's fucking like and subscribe. But it's not real. And they're not being real. They know what they're doing. They all know what they're doing. Look up some shit on the Google algorithm if you actually care. It's very fascinating because then you start, or the YouTube algorithm, SEOs. SEOs are a good way to learn too. You'll start seeing that, people like Ethan from H3H3 and all this stuff that claim to care. And I'm sure they care. I'm sure in their fucking little brains they care. I'm not being mean. I'm sure they give some kind of a fuck from their perspective. They're numb to how much damage, and I'm not bitching about it. I think it's fun to rip someone a new asshole. We need more Jake Paul bashing videos. We really do, because he's just unaware. But there's a key difference between someone who's trying and someone who just doesn't give a fuck. And I think it's a problem where you have these people that are going on and doing these monologues where they look tearfully in the camera. They're like, it's an issue we have to deal with every day. And, if you're going through this stuff, you don't have to be alone, man. People are here for you. People care about you. You can't feel alone. You gotta fight this. You gotta do it every day. And no matter what you do, just remember you're loved and you care about. And that's really fucking fine and dandy, but you also monetize the video. I'm monetizing this video, I don't care, but like, I'm poor. But you have these people that love to do the whole, if you have a platform, you've got to stand for something. You've really got to stand up for what you believe in, and it's your responsibility with the platform. But do they actually really give a shit? Is it about the platform or is it about the paycheck? Because I'm sorry, and I'm gonna fucking tell you right now, unless you're a massive YouTuber like Ethan and Anila or PewDiePie or something, you're probably gonna make maybe $30K a year if you're grinding. If you're actually popular and like, I see a lot of numbers that I just think are inflated. I don't see that kind of. Twitch is a really bitchy one. I'm gonna say 25 to 30K a year. You don't want to fall into that grind of having to edit and make a video a week, or especially a video a day, just to make that much money. It's not worth it, dude. It's not worth what it does to your head. But especially, it's not worth what it does to your ego. Like, you start getting the self-importance when all these people are there, and it's real easy to say, oh, well, I care about my fans, but I also, like, how many times do you see that self-deprecation shit of, like, I don't know why I did a clickbait video title, but, And then they go on to bitch about it. And it's like, well, then don't do it. I fucking despise thumbnails. I'm not going to say I'm never going to do them because, quite frankly, once I get an editor, I'm probably going to. But I'm not going to fucking pretend that I'm some fucking, Mother Teresa over here. Shit. It's really easy to start sniffing your own farts on this one. And that's my biggest thing is I'm not telling you to believe in internet people. I'm not telling you to believe in virtual people. And I'm getting to that because we're coming to a time where it's going to be a lot easier for companies and people with resources and interests to start swaying your opinion in one direction or another. And it's going to be very simple. It's going to be very simple. These directive algorithms are way more powerful than people realize. Data manipulation, cookies, everything with the addition of machine learning has just made it not fair. It's like shooting crippled fish in a barrel. Is crippled bad to say? It's like shooting handicapped fish in a barrel, like, missing a fin. Nemo. You got a bunch of Nemos in a barrel that can't swim very fast, so they're just kind of boop, boop, boop. You got a shotgun, small barrel. You got like 20 Nemos. One shot, handle all of them. That's kind of how fucking bad this is. And I don't know how, or like, I don't have the means to articulate the vastness of what's going on. That would take like 20 or 30 videos. I wanted to keep it concise in a way that I could kind of convey all of what's going on here into a directed thing. And as the future unfolds, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more difficult to find solace in the virtual world. I think that we talked about on the show, this version of the internet's lost. There's going to be something new someday. But it's very telling that the people with infinite resources are the ones that are preaching to us about how to feel better and how to do better. And I'm not making this a mental health stance. I'm making this a PSA for everybody. I think we're at a point now where we really, as a society, need to start looking at what's happening here. And depression's always been around. These things have always been around. But it doesn't mean we're not exacerbating the problem. And it's a very important thing to me. It's something that I'm not going to go on soapboxes very often on this show with it. But I do want to go ahead and put myself on the record so that, moving forward, it's just known. This is something that I want to combat. Is inherently the way that we've set up the monetization process online, the way we've set up the algorithms that promote top posters, influencers, is incredibly toxic for everybody else. It's incredibly dangerous for everybody else. For years, media's talked about the unhealthy body image that's being projected on women through media in general. This is before the internet, and influencers are happening. They're allowed to edit their body and get away with it. I'm not going to harp on that. A lot of people have talked about that, but that's a side effect, or that's just another example of what's happening. And there is some very sophisticated warfare occurring with people's minds. And I grow more and more concerned every day when I hear about these issues being brought on by it, because we are fully capable of giving everyone the tools to combat this. We're fully capable. I remember the first 2 years of middle school, all of our science classes were focused so much on critical thinking, and then when they changed the standards, it went away. And I think everyone, no matter who you are, where you're from, we all have that innate ability for critical thought. That's part of what makes us so great as a race of people. Humans as a species. I don't want to say race. That's got a weird connotation. But that's part of what's so beautiful about it, is we are capable of critical thought. And we've been lulled into this state of complacency where we're told to trust the people on the screen, told to trust. And I'm not saying don't watch TV. I'm not saying cancel your if that makes you happy, it makes you happy. But understand that the same responses, dopamine responses they rely on for like slot machines to keep you going, those are the same things that the same tactics that are being employed to keep you scrolling on Instagram, to keep you scrolling on Facebook. This curated content is optimized in a way to mess with your brain, dude. And it's not mess with it. It's to make you get that certain way. And yeah, while you are scrolling, a lot of times it's going to make you feel bad about yourself. Junk food, when you eat a lot of fucking chips, like no one can eat 30 bags of chips in a night, but God, don't we all want to? That's kind of the thing, is it's not good for you. It's just not. And instead of this whole thing of like, oh, we don't know what's going on, just reach out to somebody. I don't know solutions for this, but I do see a lot of fucking problems that we're not talking about. And I'm doing this mainly because I haven't seen anyone online really go hard into it. I'm sure someone has because, you know, everybody's going into it. But when you look at that, it makes you want to destroy your own individuality. It makes you feel bad about who you are. It can be innate. It can manifest very early on. You might not even know it. It's not for it doesn't happen to everybody, but if you feel that, that's something that it can ingrain in yourself very heavy on and cause problems way down the road. And what I'm saying is it's a lot easier to be confident in yourself when you can discern a material that's directed at you, knowing what's directed and what is put in front of you. Does that make sense? Like where if it's put in front of you, here, eat this or don't. But if it's literally specifically targeted to what you want from the algorithm, because that's what that's something that can cause issues. And over time, as they improve these algorithms, they're only going to get better and better. They're only going to get more dialed in. They're only going to get stronger. And I just want to tell everyone to value that part of you that feels squishy. Take a lot of pride in the thing that feels imperfect. Take a lot of pride in that thing. You know, when it may seem hard when you're not getting along with people, when you're going through shit in your life, when you're dealing with it. I'm never going to tell anyone, oh, it's going to get better. I mean, yeah, you're always going to feel better inherently. I don't know what your environment's going to do. But I think it's very important that you focus on the uniqueness you have, because there's so few things that are unique in this world, but everyone's got something, and it's not, oh, you're special, or focus and cultivate it. Everybody's got something in them that if it was cultivated could be spectacular. And, you know, instead of, you know, fucking doing Instagram and sitting on Facebook all day watching videos, you could legit just be like, oh man, I'd like to get into fucking woodworking. I'd like to read a book on woodworking. I'd like to use the phone. And I know motivation's so hard. It's a side effect of depression to not be able to motivate. But that's kind of wrapping around to the beginning of it, where if you feed into that, it's not going to help. Just being complacent in it is losing. It's quicksand. Yeah, and if you struggle in quicksand, you sink faster, but who knows, you might swim out. So as time comes, we're going to start having things like Google Glass, their prototype. That went away real fucking fast. We're going to have people trying to implement AR into everyday life. We're going to have people, as soon as you can't trust your eyes or your thoughts, or your eyes or what you're hearing or your senses, it's going to get a lot harder to know what's what. And I'm just saying, as these algorithms and people start pushing their influence in a direction, it's going to be harder to be able to trust what's being put in front of you. And it's so important that we understand that what's being sent to us as genuine isn't genuine. It's all monetized at that point. You know, these messages, this stuff like this. And that's why I feel excited about doing this, because I'm doing it at a time when I don't have anything to really worry about clout-wise. So I can say this before I turn it, you know, I do something later on, where I can say, like, this is something that I feel we need to, instead of just giving these vacuous, like, hope you feel better, call someone if you're sick. I feel that we need to start making people aware of the things that are putting them there. And that's kind of my thing. I'm tired of people speaking on depression as this thing of like, you can get better. You'll always get better. It's vague. It's very vague. And then, you know, a lot of times people don't feel like they'll get better, and people don't feel, and it just does the opposite effect, because, you know, everyone's different. Everyone's got different shit happening to them. I'm just tired of seeing people coming out saying, oh, we didn't know that was happening. Oh, who knew? And fucking Alinity just pisses me the fuck off. Like, when you perpetuate this environment and then go up there and do a fucking 5-minute speech about mental health and this vague, vacuous knowledge, not understanding the culture that you're helping to create, it's I don't want to say dangerous, it's just damaging, because there's a lot of people that have never given critical thought to, thank you, Morgan, that have never given critical thought to what the actual impact of what they're doing is. And it feels like there's a lot of people out there that are looking for someone to comfort them, to help them, and no one can help you but yourself. But I feel like it would be a lot better if the people we have to look to actually gave more of a shit. And if you really cared, if a lot of these people really cared, you would be fucking rushing to talk to, if anyone ever, if you ever need anything, at Ito is wrong on Twitter. Hit me up on the Discord. You don't have to follow me or like me or shit. Just if you're going through shit, hit me up. I'm not gonna give you advice. I'm not gonna tell you like all this fucking vague shit, but I'll talk with you, man. It's just I am seeing something very bad happening. I'm seeing something where people are manipulating algorithms and creating these concepts, because everyone starts doing this feedback loop of everyone talking about something. It just boosts you up the algorithm to where it silences out any genuine thought, and then it just turns into people ripping on someone. So I legitimately worry, and I'm concerned for the future. And I'm at the point now where I want to do something to help. I want to do something to put a concept out there that's good for people. And that's pretty much my piece on it. I don't like, that's the thing, is I went into this not really having answers. At this point, I felt like identifying the problem was better. I felt like, so people knew what the fucking score is, they're able to walk away and say that. Popular thought times algorithm boosts away. Yep. And what happens when a popular thought is, toxic? What happens when it's wrong? And that's my biggest issue, is we're getting these feedback loops, but we're not having the conversations they say we need to have. Thanks for watching, by the way, buddy. I appreciate you, Official Caveman. Kais, my dude. But yeah, I felt that it was super important we have this talk. I felt that it was super important I say this and go on the record. And we talk about freedom of speech. We talk about opportunity for equal opportunity and stuff. These big problems cause a lot of issues for people on a minor level, and I want to keep it micro because I feel like we need to stay on that. Big level, things are bigger than us, and when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, it's easy to feel small and minuscule. And that's kind of my thing, is I want people to know that there are bigger things at work that aren't even concerned with your mental health. They're not even concerned with how you're doing. They're not even concerned with the consequences of what's going on. So for them to push these things just algorithmically, it's incredibly dangerous, and it's just they're not addressing it. They're not looking to it. So yeah, I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. This has been the one time Ito's going to talk candidly and say, if you're not doing all right and you're having trouble talking with people and you're having trouble, being there with anyone, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do, for the foreseeable future, until like 1 billion people, like if that ever happens, then I'm going to have trouble. But like, hit me up and get at me. I'll chat. I'm happy for a chat. But I think it's important regardless, if there's someone there that can help you or whatever, yeah, go talk to them. But if you don't feel comfortable talking to just anyone, just, it's nice to just talk to a stranger. You can say whatever you want to a stranger. I'm not going to judge. I'm here to just listen. So it helps. But there's never a reason to feel alone, because we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. And that's why I feel so confident saying this, is we're all victims of the same crime here. This happened to all of us. This happened to all of us right under our noses. The systems changed and manipulated us right under our noses. Yeah, no, it's absolutely a lot better to talk to no one. My whole thing is, No, a lot of times it's harder to talk to anyone, you know. But yeah, like I said, a lot of times it's a lot easier when it feels like a stranger. Okay, secret time. Don't tell nobody, people on the show. Don't tell no one. This is a secret between me and you. When I was about 16 or 17, I literally used to go on chat roulette just looking for someone that I could spill my guts to because I just felt so alone and fucked up. And yeah, that's absolutely right, Morgan. Everybody should know there will always be someone out there who wants to talk with you, who wants to be there. And that's my biggest thing is if you don't feel like you have anyone else in your life who can be there for you, I'll do it. I want you to be okay. For no reason. You can take my word on that right now. I have literally $5 in my bank account. There is nothing enticing me monetarily to do this. I genuinely fucking care. I really do. And no matter what, reach out. Say hi. Tell me about your problems. You can get as specific as you want. I'll fucking listen. There will always be someone out there who wants to listen because I know there's a lot of people like me out there. There's a lot of people out there that are going to do their best to show you that things get better. Hey, caveman. Unless that was from Morgan. I don't know. But I genuinely wanted to just kind of have this fireside chat because it came to my attention that the times had changed and no one's thought about the effects of it. And there's been a lot of things in the headlines I've been thinking about, and that's really stuck with me. There's been a lot of great people we've lost this year to depression and lost, there's just been a lot of people we lost this year. And times have been crazy. Times have been scary. It's really easy to feel scared. It's really easy to not know what you're looking at. It's really easy to not trust it. And the thing is, there was a time in human history where the sun was like the scariest fucking concept ever. Just the fact that the sun rise, we thought we had to worship it because we were scared. And, I mean, that's the thing is we've always been scared of shit is what I'm getting at. We've always been scared of the unknown, and we've always felt comforted with answers. And especially right now, wait and see isn't really a good answer when you feel like no one's handling it. When you feel like, everyone's in chaos. It's very easy right now with everyone freaking the fuck out to say, oh, well, my shit's not important right now. And every single problem that every single person genuinely is struggling with is important, and it needs to be addressed, and it doesn't need to be buried, and it doesn't need to be ignored. It needs to be, well, I don't want to say confronted because it sounds aggressive, but it needs to be looked at. And honestly, sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror. Sometimes it's hard to look at the things that have happened and confront them, but subconsciously that shit'll fuck you. Fearing things give those who want to be fear the power they desire. I don't think I agree at heart with Malice. I'm approaching this from a situation of everyone's just an ignorant idiot with it, and they're not trying to be malicious, like the people building algorithms and stuff like that. They're just trying to make money and don't realize what they're doing. Dumbasses like Alinity, they just think they're helping. So I don't know if it's that they're the ones who want power. I think it's super important that we acknowledge that everybody's a person just trying to figure it out. And when we figure it out, there's a lot of mess. You make a lot of a mess when you're trying to figure out how things work. And we've entered a new era. We've entered a new wave. I'm going to go full boomer. Things are very different than they were 10 years ago. Things are very different than they were last year. It's okay to be fucked up by it. But you need to find something to hold on to. And that's why I'm trying so hard to not play the whole, like, oh, they're against us or they're doing this thing. I'm trying very hard to just say, this is the most important episode I've done. I was very nervous before doing this. I wanted to make this like a life raft, to where if it's overwhelming, if it's shitty, let's talk about how shitty it is together. But don't ever feel like you're alone in these thoughts. Don't ever feel like you're stuck. It's okay to reach out to people. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not doing all right. That's, but that growth doesn't happen when you're alone in your head, because your head's just going to amplify it. It's just an echo chamber. It's just going to get amplified. And so, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. This is very a laid back episode. That wasn't the direction, just getting at the core of it. There's the reality we're being told. There's the reality you're seeing with the algorithm. There's the reality that the algorithm promotes. Super happy, bright colors. There's a reason all the advertisements now are super fluorescent colors and clean lines. Because that's what trends. That's what people click on the most. And so the algorithm says, this is what people like. That's how it's all set up. But know the thing you see every day. If it has a screen, don't consider it reality. Know what's around you. Know what's around you first, and then go from there. And it's not to say if you don't know anyone with COVID doesn't exist. That's stupid. Go ahead and just assume that COVID exists. Take my word on it. But I think it's very important that I just keep hammering that point home of I don't have the answers, and I'm tired of people pretending like they can just wave it away with go talk to someone. I think that it's time we start having candid conversations to work through this. And I don't know when I'm going to do another fireside chat like this. Probably soon. Or not probably soon. I hope not soon. Because I only do it when I feel that there's a need for it. But yeah, I wanted to take a second and be a fucking person on stream. And, I'm never going to lie to you. I'm never going to mislead you. But it's a lot easier to act confident on camera. And it's a lot easier for people to not realize that everyone deals with this. So I figured I'd talk directly to you and let you know that, shit's fucked, dude. And it's always been fucked, even back in the day. Could you imagine living in fucking Germany and not being part of the Nazis during the 1940s? That probably would have looked fucked as fuck too. Could you imagine being London getting bombed in the 40s? The 40s, dude, those were intense, right? Being Vietnamese in the 60s was probably shitty as fuck too. That's what I'm saying, is things have always been fucked all over the place, and I'm not comparing them. I'm not drawing tangents. I'm sure someone's going to be like, blah, 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 and I'm just going to fucking ignore you on Twitter. When you tweet at me, I'm going to ignore you. If you DM me, I'm going to talk to you no matter what. Oof. But that's what I'm getting at, is shit's fucked. It'll always be fucked, but we can have a chat about it and have a good time. So yeah, I appreciated all of the, I appreciated Kais and Morgan for hanging out. I appreciate you for probably watching this. I probably will edit this one because it actually feels important enough to edit. I'm trying to make sure I said everything I wanted to. I think I covered it. Yeah, I think I covered it. Okay. Yeah. I love all of you. I actually do. I'm not just saying that. Straight up, if you are look at me in the eye right now. If you right now are having some shit that you're trying to figure out and you're trying to understand or deal with, if it's just fucking math homework, I'm all right at math. Hit me up. Hit me up at Ito is wrong on Twitter. I'm easy to find on Facebook. SoundCloud, Instagram, everywhere. I will have a conversation with you, very in-depth conversation. We'll talk as long as you want. And I just want you to know that no matter how crazy things seem out there or in your head, out in their reality or in your reality, I am someone who I'm doing this because I want to be here. I want to be here for everyone that needs it. I don't like the idea of somebody going to bed dealing with this shit alone. I don't like the idea that people don't have someone to go to with it. And I will always do my best because I'm human. I mean, I will always do my best to be there and be that positive influence and be that person there that's just kind of like, look, man, here, and we'll talk real shit. I'm never going to fucking lie to you, but we'll talk real shit. But I will do my best to be someone you can count on, with this stuff. So I love all of you. I love you so much. I love we haven't grown to like massive heights, but we've grown way more than I thought we would. And it means a lot. Anyone that tunes in, anyone that watches this, aliens, if you're out there, and you're feeling kind of down, I'm sure by the time you watch this, I'll be long gone, but maybe I built a robot that can, pick up the slack. Regardless, it means a lot. To have this opportunity to talk to anyone, just send in signals. So yeah, feel free to reach out. I'll always be here. Signing off this time.